Imagine that your family is one rent payment away from homelessness. Imagine that you have to choose between buying a week's worth of food and buying a week's worth of medicine for a sick child. Many working individuals and families in Boulder and Broomfield counties face these choices more often than you might think.
Way back in the 70s, the mid-70s, I had gotten a divorce, came up to Boulder with my two children who were 2 and 4. Didn't know anybody, but managed to establish a life. My kids were in daycare. I had a job, and then I got laid off. And I did not have enough money. I had enough money to pay the rent to keep them in daycare while I looked for a job. But I didn't have enough money to buy food. And I didn't know what I was going to do. It was a very, very scary situation for me, thinking that my kids, I couldn't afford to feed my children.
So it was, we were gonna be homeless. That's a hard word to say. But we were gonna be homeless.
Since the recession started, there are many more people who are in the position that I was in when I came in. I was a middle-class person, and I was just out of a job and out of money because of the divorce. Now, people today, it's not necessarily because they're getting divorced, it's because they've lost their jobs for an extended period of time. And it's back in 1974, you could get a job within 2 or 3 weeks. Now people are out of work for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, and they've run out of resources.
A lot more clients and a lot of people that you wouldn't expect to be in the situation that they are. You know, they're educated people, they've had good jobs their entire careers, 10, 15, 20 years, and they've been laid off and they can't find work.
So we see a lot more of those clients who are kind of, instead of nouveau rich, they're nouveau poor, and they're coming in now.
At first it was really almost startling to me because I didn't even know EFA existed, and so I kind of had a perception of homeless people as the people on the street that beg for money, or in homeless shelters as like a big room with a bunch of cots or something like that. And so when I saw people coming in that looked like my family and looked like my friends, it was kind of alarming that it was like, this can happen to anybody. This can happen to anybody.
EFA is moving towards a century of supporting our community in times of need, providing hope and comprehensive assistance with food, financial aid, housing assistance, and referrals through a vast network of outside agencies.
EFA's food bank is really a lifeline for thousands of people in our community. We'll distribute about $1 million worth of groceries this year.
Seeing the appreciation on people's faces, especially children, when they come into the food bank with their mother or with their parents, and they're able to, even as little kids, pick out a couple things that they would like to have to eat at home that maybe they know they can't get any other way.
EFA provides 43 apartments for homeless families throughout Boulder County. We have units in Longmont and Lafayette and Boulder. And when families are in those units, we work hard with them to get them back on their feet, and also work with the children there to make sure we minimize the stresses associated with homelessness.
I think the impact of the children's program is the attempt of stopping the cycle of homelessness. Gosh, you take them on a field trip to the fire station, and 3 of the boys wanted to be firemen. And then you tell them, well, here's the process that you have to do. You have to be very active, very willing to do this. You also have to keep your studies up. One of the goals of this program, to say that there are so many other opportunities out there, and you don't have to limit yourself if you push yourself. And that's kind of what EFA is about. We're pushing our families, helping them becoming more self-sufficient, You know, that's kind of my job, is helping the kids realize that they too can do it. So that's the biggest goal.
You know, I answered the phone the other day, and it was a woman calling looking for the address of our Lafayette office. She had gone in needing help with rent, and we ended up helping out with $100. That's all. And that kept her and her kids in her home. And she wanted to write a note to Nicole, our caseworker out there, not only saying thanks for the rent, but saying thanks for treating her so kindly and respectfully. Many people come in here that are just struggling for the first time in their life. And what we do, in addition to offering that financial assistance or food, is offer hope and encouragement at a really tough time.
They also helped me save my money, and I also got bus fare and a gift certificate to Target so that I could get clothes to go to interviews. And all that really added up to me being able to get a job.
EFA's caseworkers are experts at finding families help among the variety of services in the county that can help in ways that EFA can't.
What I do is I set up a case plan. So when they move in, I set up a case plan with them, and it involves budgeting, their expenses, their money that they're getting through employment, and providing them with local resources.
It was awesome. What I found at EFA was the caseworkers were really compassionate. They were non-judgmental, and they were willing to do whatever they could to not only help me within the confines of EFA, but also to help me get connected with assistance outside of EFA.
You can make a real difference right here in our community. You can help EFA with your kind donation of time or dollars and help a family avoid the streets, a senior find medical care, a disabled person eat, all with dignity and hope.
One of the things I hear when I talk to volunteers is that the work that they do here is so meaningful for them. They're not in the back office licking envelopes somewhere. They're working with people who need help. And the relationships they build with those people really enrich their own lives.
And this is something that someone can do to make a contribution, to make life a little better for somebody else.
I'd definitely say that if you were to contribute to EFA, it would be a really good cause for a family that doesn't have a home.
You know what, this is just good for everybody, and it makes you feel good that you're helping other people, and it makes them feel really good too, because then they know that they are being helped and that people actually care.